Let's talk about the pros and cons of the 2021 Ford F-150 Lariat. Of course, this is one of my favorite trucks out there right now. Starting MSRP of $44,695 represents about a $10,000 jump over the previous trim, the XLT, and a further $6,000 jump over the standard XLs. However, I will say this, the $10,000 jump itself is worth it on this. Far more worth it than the jump from the XL to XLT. It just incorporates plenty of things that you will actually use, which is the most important thing. So let's start off with the most important positive about the Lariat trim level, and that is the 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6, 325 horsepower with a huge jump up from the XLT's 400 pound-foot of torque. Nice, huh? So this is the first F-150 trim to jump up and automatically upgrade from the standard 3.3-liter V6. That one has 290 horsepower and oftentimes disappointing 265 pound-foot of torque. And in the Lariat, the standard engine in this truck is sufficient for consistent towing for anyone who needs a bit of extra power for work and play. The base engine on the XL and the XLT is enough to get you around, but the Lariat has a powertrain that can get things done, and that's why you have a truck in the first place. It also comes standard with some safety features. You've got the Ford Copilot 360 2.0, lane keep assist system, reverse sensing system, cross traffic alert, and whatnot. So one of my biggest gripes about the Ford F-150 in general, the lineup is standard-wise, it generally lacks a few safety features that I would like to see technology-wise. I'm not saying it's not a safe truck. It is by far a very safe truck. However, I want to see a little extra technology, and the Lariat has that. Also, the box-link system. Let's talk about that. It's standard on the Lariat, and I love the box link system, which is essentially 4 reinforced mounting links in all 4 corners of the bed, and they allow for lockable cleats and a number of different aftermarket accessories. If you need more storage, separation, dividers, or extra tie-down locations, the box link system really makes a ton of sense, and I'm happy to see them standard on the Lariat. So I think the most important part of this is that when you order your truck or when you buy it new off the lot, you are not required to really completely know and understand how you want to organize the bed, right? It has the opportunity for aftermarket parts, which you can often find for a very affordable price. You're not buying them fresh off the belt from Ford. You're buying them when and where you need them in a way that you need them. And I think that's the most important thing about the BoxLink system. It's super efficient, and it just makes so much sense. So this is also the first trim level where there's a remote tailgate release. That's standard. It also comes standard with larger 18-inch machined aluminum wheels, and they have magnetic painted pockets, Ford says. This is the first trim where the standard wheel has a bit of personality. The XL and the XLT, boring wheels. You also have quite a few options that are available to you if you want to upgrade or change. I'm a particular fan of the 20-inch 6-spoke dark alloy painted aluminum wheels. They look sick in my opinion. Seriously, I love them. Also, you've got intelligent access and push-button start that are standard for the Lariat. Not the case with the XL and the XLT. Dual zone temperature control, also the same. Not the case with the XL or the XLT. It also comes with a massive 12-inch digital productivity screen, they call it, which is significantly larger than the standard 4-inch on the XLT. In fact, the 12-inch isn't even available as an option on the XLT, just a smaller 8-inch as an option. And this 12-inch screen takes the place of a traditional gauge cluster, and it's absolutely beautiful if you actually really prefer digital. So keep that in mind. I historically have been an analog guy, but I don't know. This thing is beautiful. So you'll have to take a look at it yourself to see if it's for you. It's really impressive, and I generally don't like screens like this in place of a like a traditional gauge cluster, I should say. So That is a very reluctant pro for me because they're forcing me to change, and I don't like to change, right? It also comes standard with power adjustable pedals with memory function. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Here's the deal. My wife hates driving my trucks because she feels like they aren't made for her, and she does it so infrequently that adjusting the pedals without a memory feature is super intimidating for her. Now, she can feel more comfortable behind the wheel, and when she needs to move my truck or help driving longer journeys, she feels far more comfortable doing so if there's an adjustable pedal that has memory function. So, I like this because unlike a lot of people, I'll say this, I'm not the only one that drives my truck. I'm not. I don't want to be the only one driving my truck. I love my truck, but I also love sharing my truck so other people can do what they need to do and I don't have to go with them. That's the best part. So keep that in mind for the adjustable pedals. Also, speaking of the area down by the pedals, you've got some really nice ambient lighting down there that the Lariat has, and I think it's perfect. It's enough to provide safe visibility, but not too much where it interferes with the look of the Lariat itself. So, also standard, important, this is your first step up to leather trim seats with 10-way adjustable driver memory seats. Again, a feature that my wife loves on the rare occasion that she drives my truck. The Lariat is the first trim, of course, to do all of those, and that's important to me for sure. Again, much safer for her to drive, much safer for anyone else to drive because you can really get into that sweet spot, especially for longer journeys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, heated seats. Thank you. It gets cold where I live. Also, the biggest, I guess, most glaring difference, we'll call it, is the giant 12-inch infotainment system that this thing has. It's super intuitive and also incorporates split screen options that make it more versatile and feel safer at the same time. I really like how Ford incorporated simplicity with a full array of features on the infotainment system. And this again is coming from a guy who's changing his mind. I generally don't like big, huge infotainment systems, but the split screen option and just how easy it is to use this system, I don't know. I might be a changing man. I might be a changing man. So those are just a few of the pros. How about some of the cons now? Um, and I'm kind of reluctant to even do any cons because I feel like I've been nitpicky as far as my cons are concerned. I think a lot of you will think that they're not really cons at all. So, but that's because I'm having a hard time not liking everything about the truck. So, 2021 model year, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the F-150s in general. They're calling it a redesign year. Now, there are some changes to headlights, taillights. There's definitely changes to parts in general. They're saying vast majority of the parts on this truck are brand new. So why does it look pretty much exactly the same as previous models? Well, let's just call it what it is. It's a marketing redesign that they're calling it to sell more trucks, which they do the best at. Obviously, they outsell everything. So I personally don't think they need to do that. If you've got a 2018 with 70,000 miles on it, you don't need to upgrade, in my opinion. Drive that truck until it can't drive anymore, right? Don't let the word redesign change your mind on what you're driving right now. If it does change your mind, you might need to take a couple weeks to sit back and decide whether or not this is really what you want to do. Um, Also, this is really the trim where you're going to convince yourself that you need to go with the 4x4 option. You have the engine, you have the power, you have the towing capability. The 4x4 option is really the only thing missing. And sure, you can add it, but that'll likely put you north of $50,000 at that point. And even though I would say it's worth it, it's still a pretty penny to have to shell out. So, again, that $44,000 MSRP starting initially is going to go up pretty quick for you. So a bit of a con there, although it's a pretty necessary option in my opinion. Also, intelligent adaptive cruise control is not standard on the Lariat. It is available as an option, but I really feel again that the Lariat trim should be the level where perks like adaptive cruise control and are should be automatically there. With the powertrain upgrade to Lariat, this is the trim for long rides to the cabin or your favorite hunting spot, having the adaptive cruise is just an extra layer of safety and comfort that you will definitely put to use. So I wish that was standard. It's not. You're going to have to pay out for that. Again, running boards and step bars are not standard. You got to option up to those. And I understand there are plenty of people who don't like running boards or step bars, and this gives you the option not to have those. But I think those people are few and far between, especially when you're starting to spend close to $50,000 on a truck or more. I think you're going to want those as a part of your package. And I just wish they were standard. I think there are so few people who don't want them or need them, that it's pretty ridiculous that they're not standard. Just a way for the MSRP to be, artificially kept low, in my opinion. I also don't really like the grill on the Lariat. It's definitely different from the other trims. In particular the XLT, you've got the chrome surround. This has what Ford calls a chrome 2-bar and 1 minor bar style with black surround and black accents. For some reason, the chrome layout to me seems just a bit chaotic, and I really dislike the black surround compared to the traditional chrome surround. I think it looks a little messy. I can appreciate that Ford is trying to insert some individuality to this particular trim. I just don't know if it does anything for me personally. That's definitely going to be something that you're going to have to do a bit of a side-by-side comparison. Compare the XLT to the Lariat trim to see if that grille and front end has the look that you want. I'm sure there's plenty of people who like the Lariat look. I like a little more classic front end personally, but that's just personal taste. And lastly, let's talk about more personal taste. I wish a heated steering wheel was standard again on the Lariat. Call me spoiled, but I think that this trim level should include, that it already actually includes heated seats, mind you. It also should include a heated steering wheel. And I live in a cold climate. It frustrates me that every vehicle out there gives you heated seats before they give you a heated steering wheel. It should be the opposite way. I can sit down in a truck that's been outside in 20 below weather for 4 hours or even overnight, whatever we're calling it, and my body heat can warm that seat up pretty quick. You know what doesn't heat up, like, ever? The steering wheel. It doesn't heat up ever. So if I had a choice out there, I 100% of the time would take a heated steering wheel over heated seats and call it a day. So, and that's speaking as someone who lives in the cold. I wish that would be standard. At least, when you incorporate heated seats, also incorporated heated steering wheels. Again, I'm nitpicky, and it's got to be the case because I'm having a hard time finding anything wrong with this Lariat. If I had to go out and get a brand new truck, it would probably be this Lariat, with a few options up, obviously, because of my cons. But hey, I would be more than happy to do it. And these are the pros and cons of the 2021 Ford F-150 Lariat.